City Football Group, or CFG, officially acquired Palermo last week as their 11th majority-owned club. This led many people to once more raise the question of, well, why are CFG taking over so many clubs? Welcome to Halftime Football, where today we're going to be going over CFG as a company, what they do for the clubs they own, and why they actually do it. Let's begin by quickly taking a look at the business as a whole. CFG were officially formed in May 2013 when the hierarchy of Manchester City decided they wanted to add another club to their portfolio, which was New York City FC. Abu Dhabi United Group, which were owned by His Highness Sheikh Mansour, were the sole investors at that point. Since then, his shares have fallen to around 78% as Chinese and American investors have taken minority shareholdings in the company. Currently, CFG is estimated to be valued at around £4 billion. Anyway, as I mentioned, CFG acquired their 11th club with Palermo, and the rest of their portfolio spans far across the world. In North America, they own New York City FC, while in South America they've taken control of Montevideo City Torque and have a partnership with Club Bolivar. In Asia, CFG have targeted the major countries, having purchased Chinese third-tier sides Sichuan Junyu, Mumbai City FC in India, and Yokohama F Marinos in Japan. Europe is where they're most prominent, with majority shareholdings in English champions Manchester City, newly promoted La Liga side Girona, second-tier Belgian side Lommel SK, Ligue 1 survivors Troyes, and they also have a small partnership with fourth-tier French side Vannes. Finally, CFG have also delved into Australian football with the purchase of Melbourne City, or Melbourne Heart as they were known. Outside of football, CFG have also invested heavily in esports, where they focus heavily on FIFA and have also struck a partnership with renowned Call of Duty clan FaZe. CFG have also invested in Sapphire Sport, which is a venture capital fund based in America which aims to improve technology and digital sporting startups. Now back to the actual footballing side, and CFG have a few major things that they actually do for the clubs they own. Now the obvious main thing is financial investment, but that's blatant, so we'll just skip past that. The first major thing they do is sort of an inter-club network whereby players are transferred or loaned between the clubs so that they can develop at a level more suited to them and receive adequate playtime. The best example of this is Man City, who are always loaning players to Girona, Troyes and Lommel in order to aid their development so they can eventually play them in the first team or sell them for a profit. Talent such as Pedro Porro, Douglas Luiz and Issa Kabore have all benefited from the loan system as they gained invaluable experience and have now moved on to bigger and better things, all while CFG rake in a tidy profit. The clubs like Troyes and Girona also benefit from the loan deals as their squad depth and quality is bolstered, which has helped these teams reach their top divisions. Outside of Europe, CFG invests heavily in clubs like Mumbai City, for example, in order to increase the value of the club and the quality of the sport as a whole in India. This allows for development in a market with huge potential that currently has low quality. They do the same things in China, Australia and Japan. CFG's clubs also share the same scouting network, apparently allowing for access to information for up to 500,000 players for any of the member clubs, which allows for much better recruitment across the 11 teams. Alongside that, there's also a group-wide tactical platform where all the teams have access to formations, game plans and coaching methods, which have pretty much all been formulated by Pep Guardiola's Man City side so that there's sort of a set tactical approach that the clubs must follow. CFG have also invested heavily in the women's side of things, with Man City, Montevideo Torque and Melbourne City all receiving boosts in this area, whether it be through monetary investment or facility development. The main goals that CFG hope to achieve through all this time, effort and money kind of boil down to three key areas. The first of these is increasing participation in football both on and off the pitch in developing areas such as Asia, as well as developing sectors such as youth football and women's football. This way, CFG can help not only the development of their member clubs but also football as a whole, as they discover more talent in areas where football isn't particularly the main sport or isn't generally encouraged as a viable career. Another one of CFG's main goals is to engage the fans, because we all know football is nothing without fans. City's reach mainly stems from social media, where they're insistent on innovating technologies and ways to connect with current and potential fans in order to expand their global engagement. Head of Marketing Nuria Tare stated that part of our content strategy is to keep thinking about stories that will authentically engage with our audiences, but also get to know our brand even better and get to know the club even better. Some examples of this include Man City's CFG's Amazon All or Nothing series, which went behind the scenes at the club, alongside adapted social media strategies during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Commitments like this will increase the market for CFG's clubs, and therefore attract more sponsorships due to a global reach, which creates a commercial benefit for the clubs. Finally, on the pitch itself, CFG want to keep a uniform approach. CEO Omar Barada stated in an interview that we want to play a very specific type of football, a classy, beautiful style of football that we believe resonates with football fans around the world. This of course correlates with the shared tactical database that I mentioned earlier, which all stems from Pep Guardiola's classic tiki-taka approach. These three goals are obviously very narrowed down, but they're pretty much the staples of what CFG want to do, with the official website stating, by achieving these ambitions, playing attractive football, engaging our community of passionate fans, and adopting a uniquely global yet local approach, we are growing a sustainable and socially responsible organisation, consistent with what City football has meant to people for over a century. That being said, such a unique ownership strategy will obviously result in controversy. The first of these problems arose from the inter-club network that I mentioned earlier. The Australian top tier, or the A-League, has a rule where players can't be transferred between domestic clubs for a transfer fee, so it was a major controversy when Man City purchased Luke Bratton from Brisbane Roar and Anthony Caceres from Central Coast Mariners, and subsequently loaned them both out to Melbourne City. This obviously caused a lot of controversy with the A-League bigwigs, as even though CFG hadn't technically done anything wrong, they were still said to be circumventing the rules and kind of destroying the integrity of the Australian transfer system. Then of course there was the issue with Frank Lampard, who was signed by New York City FC in 2014 alongside David Villa as their first marquee players. It's no secret that Man City are the main priority of CFG's hierarchy, but they took that a bit too far in their early days when they duped NYCFC fans by moving Lampard to City until what was believed to be the start of the MLS season, which was in early 2015, but they eventually decided to just keep him at Man City until May when the Premier League season ended. NYCFC fans were very confused by this decision and obviously lost a lot of respect for both their owners and Lampard in the process. This is also around the point that many outsiders began to raise eyebrows at CFG's scheme. Last but certainly not least, we have the constant battles between Man City, FIFA, UEFA, FFP, pretty much every single major footballing organisation. City were fined £49 million in 2014 due to breaches on maximum losses following outrageous transfer and wage spending, and they've been under investigation from the Premier League since 2019 following leaked documents which allegedly showed that City had paid underage players large sums in order to convince them to join the club. It's also alleged that City have disguised cash injections from Sheikh Mansour as sponsorship payments into the club, and Roberto Mancini also received extra payments from Abu Dhabi during his time as City manager. As of now though, none of that has been proved, but obviously CFG are constantly being met with increasing skepticism regarding their business activities. But in regards to on-the-pitch matters, CFG have been very successful. Since Sheikh Mansour's first foray into ownership in 2008 with Man City, CFG clubs, both men and women, have won a total of 44 trophies, including top division titles in England, Japan, America and India in the men's game, and England in the women's game. CFG's empire has begun with immense success, and the future surely holds more trophies and even more success. Apparently, the group have already struck a deal with Brazilian second-tier side Bahia, which would make them the 12th club in the network, as CFG look to the nation of some of the greatest ever superstars to discover more talent. There is no doubt that CFG will sort of attempt to conquer the world of football with tactical acquisitions of more and more clubs, and this may get the ball rolling for even more multi-club ownerships like the Red Bull clubs for example. The tide is turning for football ownerships, and one could argue that the sport loses a bit of its soul every time a billionaire acquires another club like a kid in a sweet shop. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. This was sort of a new kind of concept detailing the business side of things, which I don't know, if people like it, and I'll do more of them. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments. If you did make it this far, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.